Imagine walking through a quiet forest as night falls. The sound of leaves crunching under your feet is your only companion until something makes you stop. A strange noise. Crack. And then footsteps. They're not yours. Your heart races. You look around, but there's no one in sight. Could it just be the wind playing tricks on your imagination? Or something far more sinister? There are stories that intrigue and scare us, legends that become part of popular culture and pass through generations. But what if these stories weren't just the product of human creativity? What if some of these urban legends truly had roots in reality? Today we'll delve into the case of the Goatman, a shadowy figure that has haunted forests and communities for decades. Half human, half goat, this creature is said to stalk those who trespass on its territory, leaving a trail of fear wherever it goes. But the Goatman isn't alone. He is just one piece of a larger puzzle of inexplicable legends that intrigue and captivate. Get ready to dive into a world of mystery and terror, where myth and reality collide. You're about to hear stories that will challenge your logic and test your courage. And in the end, one question will remain. Are these legends truly as unreal as they seem? Now that we've set the mood, let's begin. Urban legends have been a part of our culture for centuries. They emerge as stories told around campfires, spread during casual gatherings, and over time, take on a life of their own. But what makes these stories so fascinating? Perhaps it's the blend of reality and fiction, or the fact that some of them seem to contain fragments of truth. The Goatman is a perfect example of this type of narrative. While its description sounds straight out of a horror story, a hybrid creature, part man and part goat, with glowing eyes and predatory instincts, the legend hasn't just survived the passage of time, it has grown stronger. But how did this figure gain such notoriety? It's said that the Goatman story began in the state of Maryland in the United States during the 1950s. Since then, reports of sightings and frightening encounters have surfaced in different regions, further deepening the mystery surrounding this figure. And the Goatman isn't the only creature that captures our curiosity. Other beings, like Florida's skunk ape or the skinwalkers from Navajo legends, follow a similar pattern. Entities appearing in remote areas, woven into tales of fear and bewilderment. But what do all these stories have in common? It's simple, they leave us with more questions than answers. Are these legends merely tools to frighten or teach lessons? Or could they be echoes of real events that we cannot explain? Stay with us as we delve into the darkest and most unexplainable accounts behind these stories. Because sometimes what seems like just a myth may be hiding something terrifyingly real. We've reached the heart of our journey, the chilling accounts that fuel these legends and make them so hard to ignore. Let's start with the Goatman, whose fame was cemented in the outskirts of Maryland but has similar versions in other parts of the world. The story of the Goatman begins in the 1950s, when residents of a small village reported hearing piercing screams coming from a nearby forest. The sound was unlike anything they had ever heard, somewhere between an animal's cry and a human's wail. Soon after, sightings of a tall figure with hooves instead of feet, wandering through the woods at dusk, began to surface. One of the most famous accounts involves a group of teenagers who decided to investigate the stories. They ventured to a bridge locally known as the Devil's Bridge, which was said to be the Goatman's territory. Late at night, they heard heavy footsteps and the sound of something metallic scraping against the rocks. Without waiting to find out what it was, they fled in panic. When they returned the next morning, they found deep scratches in the concrete of the bridge, as if something sharp had gouged the surface. While the Goatman is an iconic figure, he's not alone in this world of mysterious creatures. In Florida, for instance, there are accounts of the skunk ape, a sort of tropical version of Bigfoot. This creature is described as a giant primate with a strong odor and a menacing appearance. Sightings are often reported in swampy areas, particularly in Everglades National Park. In 2000, a local resident managed to capture a blurry photo of a massive creature hidden among the trees. The image was sent to experts, but to this day, no one has been able to definitively identify what it was. Another equally unsettling legend comes from the southwestern United States, the skinwalkers. Originating from Navajo folklore, these beings are described as sorcerers capable of transforming into animals. Unlike the Goatman or the skunk ape, skinwalkers are associated with the supernatural, and their stories are often accompanied by unexplained events, such as mysterious lights in the sky or the disappearance of livestock. While many of these tales seem to belong to the past, there are accounts that show these legends are still alive. In 2019, a group of friends hiking in a forest in Virginia reported hearing inexplicable screams and, at one point, felt they were being followed. They described the sensation as suffocating, as if something was watching their every move. When they reached their car, they found deep scratches on the body of the vehicle that hadn't been there before. Another curious case occurred in 2021, when a family was camping in Oregon. During the night, they heard a sound they described as a metallic mooing. The next morning, they discovered giant footprints around their campsite, oddly shaped like hooves. The family left immediately, vowing never to return. What connects all these accounts is how they evoke a primal fear, the fear of the unknown. These stories are so powerful because they challenge our perception of what is real and possible. They force us to question, how far can science and logic go in explaining the world around us? But there's more to uncover. Up next, we'll explore what experts, scientists, and researchers have to say about these creatures. After all, every legend starts somewhere, and perhaps, just perhaps, there's an explanation waiting to be discovered. Urban legends have the power to capture our imagination, but is there any truth behind them? Experts in psychology, folklore, and biology have been delving into accounts like those of the Goatman and other mysterious creatures, trying to separate fact from fiction. In this chapter, we'll explore some of the most compelling and unsettling theories about how these stories emerge and why they persist. One of the most widely accepted explanations for the popularity of urban legends is the psychological impact of fear. Studies show that the human brain is wired to react to the unknown with a mix of curiosity and caution. When we hear a story about a creature like the Goatman, our survival instincts kick in, making the narrative both memorable and thrilling. Moreover, the tendency to exaggerate or embellish events when recounting them to others helps these stories spread quickly and evolve over time. Some legends, however, may have originated from real events. The Goatman, for instance, has been linked to sightings of unusual or misidentified animals. Experts in biology suggest that encounters with wild animals, such as bears standing on their hind legs or mountain goats in unusual positions, can easily be mistaken for something extraordinary, especially in low-light conditions. Other theorists propose that these legends may be connected to secret scientific experiments or natural mutations, though there is no concrete evidence to support these ideas. On the other hand, folklore scholars argue that stories like the Goatman serve a cultural purpose. They act as metaphors for collective fears, such as the unknown or the violation of social norms. For example, the Goatman may symbolize punishment for trespassing on sacred ground or disrespecting nature. Similarly, stories of skinwalkers reflect deep cultural taboos within Navajo communities, linking the supernatural to human behavior. Finally, an intriguing theory suggests that modern technology plays a key role in helping these stories evolve and gain momentum. Accounts that were once confined to small communities can now spread rapidly through the internet. Videos, blurry photos, and even mysterious audio recordings create a feedback loop that keeps these legends alive and relevant. Whether through psychological phenomena, scientific foundations, or profound cultural meanings, one thing is certain. Urban legends reveal how much we still have to discover about the world, and about ourselves. Now that you know the stories, theories, and mysteries behind the Goatman and other enigmatic creatures, think about this. How many times have you heard a tale that seemed impossible to explain but left you deeply intrigued? Maybe it was a strange sound at night, a moving shadow, or even a family story passed down through generations. These stories connect us because they speak directly to our most primal fears and our insatiable curiosity. And now we want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain? Share your experience in the comments. Who knows, your story might be the next one to be uncovered. Urban legends make us question the world around us, challenging our logic and stirring our deepest fears. The Goatman and other creatures might just be stories, or maybe not. What's certain is that the unknown draws us in, and its darkness will always have something new to reveal. If you enjoyed this dive into the space between myth and reality, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next mysteries. See you next time, and watch your step.